Today is a great day because we are making one of my favorite recipes, and that's Caribbean spice bun. It's a festive version of bun and cheese, which is a spiced bun found in the Caribbean. They're usually earthy spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and ground ginger, but we're also adding dried fruits and maraschino cherries as well to give it that sweetness. Now, this spice bun has its origins from the British hot cross bun, but it's really taken as inspiration and really turned into its own. When I was younger, we enjoyed Easter bun exactly like this recipe. It's yeasted with a dark caramel color and sweetened with raisins and dried fruit. And just before serving, it's paired with tinned cheese. It's a lot like a mix between Velveeta and aged cheddar cheese. And we'd eat it like this or slice it in half and eat it like a sandwich. So here we have all our ingredients for the Easter bun recipe. On the left, we have the wet ingredients, and on the right, we have all the dry ingredients plus all the stuff that we're gonna put on top. For the wet ingredients, it's browning sauce, vanilla extract, and Guinness malt. You can also use Dragon Stout. It gives it this dark, rich color while also having a light caramel flavor. We're using active dry yeast, which we're gonna bloom before we throw everything in. We have butter, brown sugar as the main base, as well as all-purpose flour. For some of the filling ingredients, we have dried fruit, followed by golden raisins, and we're gonna use maraschino cherries. For the spices, we're using cinnamon, nutmeg, ground ginger, and clove. Then to top it, we have guava jelly, which we're gonna melt with butter to create a brushing glaze, as well as tinned cheese. And yes, it's from a can, but don't knock it until you've tried it. This is what's traditionally used, but you can also substitute it for cheddar. Now that you know what's in it, we're gonna start by putting all the dry ingredients together. In a large bowl, sift your flour and spices, and feel free to go off with freshly grated spices like nutmeg and clove. The crumb on this bun is super fine, so by sifting, we're just avoiding any lumps. Then we're adding salt, and we're just gonna mix with a fork or a whisk just until combined. Follow that with maraschino cherries, golden raisins, and dried fruit or candied peel. We're using about a quarter cup of each one, and feel free to use any dried fruit you'd like. And we're just gonna mix this as well and set it aside. Now in a separate bowl, we're gonna make our wet ingredients by adding brown sugar, melted unsalted butter, vanilla extract, browning sauce, our Guinness Malta, and our bloomed yeast. I just put the yeast in warm water to make sure it's active and gauge how much it'll rise. Then we're gonna whisk it just until it's combined. We don't wanna kill the yeast. Next, we're gonna take our dry ingredients, put it into our wet ingredients, mix it together, and form our dough. You can add it in gradually or just dump it in like I did. And using a spatula, you're just gonna carefully mix it until it forms a dough. It just has to come together without any noticeable flour bits. There's no kneading required here. You'll notice its rich, dark caramel color, and that's great. We can just put plastic wrap over top. Now I'm just gonna set this aside for about 10 to 15 minutes so the yeast can activate and the dough can proof a bit. And in that time, it shouldn't rise a lot, but you should notice that the texture of the dough has changed, and it should be a lot softer and less sticky now. And using oil or just water, we're gonna coat our hands so the dough doesn't stick too much. Here, it's less about kneading and more about bringing the dough into a ball. We're gonna form an exterior edge by first taking it out of the bowl, create an underside by gently rolling it into a shape of a ball. Then we're going to take the edges and wrap them inside in this weaving pattern to hold in the air bubbles so it rises. And there you go, a baby Easter bun bread ball. And you bet I'd protect this baby with my life. Now it's ready to be placed in a greased bread pan. And don't worry about it not filling out the edges or the sides. It tends to be smaller and denser than typical loaves, but it packs a serious amount of flavor. And we're adding a few cherries on top for presentation. Now we're gonna bake this at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour until it's golden brown. So while that's baking, we're gonna make the glaze that goes on top of the bun that gives it that nice sheen. What we're using is guava and butter, but you can just as easily use honey or any sort of simple syrup. All you need to do for this is just melt the butter and follow that with the guava. We're just gonna stir a little bit and make sure that the guava is melted. It should come out as a syrup-like consistency, but you can always add water if it's too thick and more guava if it's too thin. And here's our Easter bun straight from the oven. Now I'm just gonna brush it with the guava glaze and let it cool until it's ready to slice. And it should be cool. Yeah, it's cool to the touch. We can now slice into it. I'm going with thick slices, about 3/4 of an inch. Keep in mind that I'm also going to pair this with cheese. When I was younger, we would also slice it in half lengthwise as well, so the sandwiches were bite-sized. Let's grab a slice now, and this is exactly what a slice should look like. There's even crumb coverage, the dried fruits are scattered, and it's soft and warm to the touch. And here's our Easter bun. I placed it on a serving plate, and for the final touches, we're gonna add the tin cheese to each slice, and it's ready to serve. The Easter bun is also great on its own, so you're free to enjoy it without any cheese. I'm used to eating it like a sandwich, so I'm just gonna alternate every other slice to have cheese. And there you go, Easter bun and cheese, ready to serve. I'm so excited. Oh, it came out perfect. It's sweet, but not too sweet. The creaminess of the cheese cuts through any of the sweetness of the cake. And there's a little aftertaste from the guava glaze, which makes it the cherry on top. Thanks for watching. And if you like this, feel free to give it a like. And if you want to see more recipes like this, don't forget to subscribe.